Have you ever actually stopped to think about how your body builds its hardest, most resilient stuff? Well, today we are taking this massive biological process and slowing down a totally rapid-fire 30-second journey just to see exactly how the body pulls it off. In this explainer, we're going right down to the microscopic cellular level. We're going to trace the exact step-by-step creation of literally the strongest tissue you possess.
Okay, so let's dive right in. We've got to start with one big, honestly kind of intimidating scientific question. What exactly is amelogenesis? I know, it's a pretty heavy medical term, but I promise as we unpack it together, you'll see it's just this beautifully logical event happening right inside of us.
Very simply put, amelogenesis is just the enamel formation process. That's really it. It's the step-by-step sequence that creates the protective outer layer of our teeth. So before we get completely lost in the complex cellular machinery, just lock in this one foundational idea. Amelogenesis equals building enamel.
Now, everything has to start somewhere, right? And this entire sequence is triggered by a massive biological transformation. So we start with these inner enamel epithelium cells, but they definitely don't stay that way for long. They completely transform into these microscopic builders called ameloblasts. This transformation is the crucial spark, because without these newly formed ameloblasts, the whole enamel formation process just literally cannot proceed. They are the true, undisputed builders of the tooth. And once those builder cells are completely ready to go, we enter the first major phase of the process, stage 1, the secretory stage. So the really crucial point here is understanding what these ameloblasts actually do once they've transformed. Basically, during the secretory stage, they get right to work secreting enamel matrix proteins. You can kind of think of this as laying down the essential biological scaffolding. And the two main proteins you absolutely need to remember here are amelogenin and enamelin. These are the foundational building blocks being pumped out by the ameloblasts to create the matrix that will eventually become your tooth's armor.
Right after that scaffolding is laid down, the biological process makes a massive shift into stage 2, the maturation stage.
This is where the entire process pivots. On one side, back during the secretory stage, those ameloblasts were actively building up that protein matrix. But now, in the maturation stage, it's all about refinement and hardening. The body literally shifts gears here. It starts stripping away all that water and the proteins to make room for mineral deposits. So it's a complete switch, going from building a soft scaffold to entirely replacing it with a rigid, highly mineralized structure. When we actually map this entire journey out over just 30 seconds, it's honestly incredible. We start at 0 seconds with that initial cell transformation. Then, by 10 seconds, those crucial proteins are flowing. At 20 seconds, we hit that major maturation pivot we just talked about. The minerals are deposited, and we get the actual growth of hydroxyapatite crystals. And these crystals are exactly what causes the whole structure to become harder and harder as the clock ticks toward 30 seconds. We are literally watching the enamel solidify, step by step, through this chronological crystal growth. And here is the ultimate payoff of this entire biological arc. Because of those transforming cells, the secreted proteins, the massive mineral deposits, and those growing crystals, the end result is absolutely spectacular. The body has successfully manufactured its absolute hardest tissue. The enamel is finally ready. It's just a perfect, highly engineered end product created through this totally flawless natural assembly line. Now, the original source material actually provides some incredibly detailed notes on this whole sequence. So if you want to dive deeper, they are definitely worth tracking down. But as we close out this explainer today, I really want you to think about this. If your body can execute this highly sequenced, multi-stage chemical marvel just to build something as tough as enamel, and it does it without you ever even realizing it, what other microscopic miracles are happening inside of you right at this very second?